Spiritual Life Center. Welcome to the Sunday Experience. January 14, 2024. Can you believe it? So we want you to know your soul is welcome here. You are in the right place at the right time. Isn't that right, Ann?
That's right, and Happy New Year. It's the first time I've seen you since last year. We're all going to sing about how we're welcome here. I missed you. I missed you. All right, let's sing about it. Here we go. I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I am meant to be. I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I am meant to be. In the right place, I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I am meant to be. I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I am meant to be. Oh, my soul is welcome here. Oh, my soul is welcome here. I am getting the message loud and clear. My soul is welcome here. We are going to learn about the gifts of Martin Luther King Jr. today. It's an awesome service. I'm in the right place at the right time, right time. I am just where I am meant to be. I'm in the right place at the right time, right time. I am just where I am meant to be. Oh, my soul is welcome here. Oh, my soul is welcome here. And I am getting the message loud and clear. My soul is welcome. Oh, my soul is welcome. Oh, my soul. I am getting the message loud and clear. My soul is welcome. I'm getting the message. I am getting the message loud and clear. My soul is welcome here. 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 And my soul is welcome here. My soul is welcome here. Yeah, and my soul is welcome. I am getting the message loud and clear. My soul is welcome here. Oh, it's welcome here. Well, Happy New Year, everybody.
Morning, Rev. Everybody, good morning. Our souls are welcome here, and we're grateful for that.
Good morning, Reverend James. Happy New Year. We're back.
Yes.
Regular services and who knows what else.
Oh, 2024. Yes.
Well, it's always exciting at SLC, right?
Yes.
That we greet you this morning in the name of all that is good, all that is holy, and all that is sacred, and in the warm and loving energy of this community, Spiritual Life Center. Spiritual Life Center honors all people worshiping in temples, mosques, churches, stone circles, and of course, the beautiful temples of nature, because we know there is no space that God does not grace. And if you're with us for the very first time today, either watching us online or here in person, we especially want to welcome you because we know that you are not here by accident. Every one of us is here by
Divine appointment.
And we're really thrilled to get started with the new year. And the reason we're really excited to be here. And we're also very excited when you silence your electronic devices and please refrain from flash photography during the service.
Well, let's take a moment to connect with this presence, knowing that whenever we commune with the presence is the foundation for all to unfold in the right, perfect way. For this presence is around us and exists through and as us. It always has the right and perfect answers for anything that we may be questioning about. As we make this the ground of our being, the foundation of our life, each and every day, then we know that we're in good hands because we can rest assured that all is well. So as we go through our day, our week, our year, we recognize that Spirit is always on the field. And we can turn to this presence. And as we make this presence the activity of our awareness, our consciousness in thought, word, and deed, oh, seemingly miracles happen. Upliftment happens. Healings happen. Abundance flows to and through us in so many different ways. And we enjoy life. So we allow this presence to have its way with us. We are here to be the vessels and the vehicles for its expression. And as we allow this expression of God to be our life, we anchor this energy not only where we are, but we spread it throughout the world. So let's soar in 2024. Amen.
I think you just came up with our theme for the year. Let's
soar in 2024. Okay. Yeah, we're ready to soar. I don't know about you. I'm ready to soar in 2024. All righty. Well, we have a very important purpose here at Spiritual Life Center that is reflected in our mission statement, and I invite us to share it and say it aloud together. To transform lives, to make a positive difference in the world as we love, serve, and remember. And we carry out that mission as we embody and fulfill and live these 5 basic unity principles. Again, let's say them together. God is absolute good and everywhere present. People are inherently good. Thoughts create our experiences. Prayer and meditation are how we connect with God, and we must take action. And of course, this being a January, we must have some January babies here. Anybody born in January? Stand, we can acknowledge you, sing you happy birthday. We have a number of January folks.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday. Happy birthday to all of you live streaming. Happy birthday. Happy birthday. Happy birthday to ya. Happy birthday to ya. Happy birthday. Happy birthday to ya. Happy birthday to ya.
Okay, so Wow Wednesday this week. Now we have a class going, and and that class is closed, so that's going on. But we will still have the community meal, and if you want to come and have the meal, even if you're not in the class, and we can sit around and I'll sit around the table with you. We could have a spiritual discussion or do something kind of cool while everybody else toddles off to class. So we hope to see you at the community meal at 6, and if you're in the class, it still starts at 7.
Well, tomorrow we have the annual Martin Luther King March for a Dream walk that takes place here in Sacramento. And we're going to be participating, and all the information is on our website, and I believe you can also get some information at the hub that gives you all the details, where we're going to meet, when we're going to meet, and so forth. But we're going to have 2 meeting places, and it's going to start and end at Sac City College, where we used to go for a long part away and then
Convention Center.
Have to take a bus back. They've changed it around this year. And the details are at the hub on our website. And when we get there tomorrow, we'll have a couple of people that we might want to just engage in carrying the signs and other stuff that we want to do. So we'll figure it out once we show up tomorrow morning.
It's a casual one.
A casual walk?
So the end of last year, many of you know that Monty Richardson made his transition, and his family had a private service for him, and they had no intention of doing anything here. So we thought, obviously, we want to honor Monty. So next Sunday at 12:45, right after service, Reverend James is going to do a little ceremony for him, and then the music ministry is going to honor him because he was a board member, he was in the choir. I don't know what else Monty did, but he did a lot. Pardon? Small groups. Yeah, he did a small group. Yes. So anyway, right after the 11 o'clock, at 12:45, we'll come back in here and we'll have just a little service for him.
Yes, to honor him. And yes, and
Is it next Sunday or that says February?
oh,
So is it?
Okay, so it's next Sunday.
next Sunday. So in your mind, cross off February and put up January, and it's next Sunday at 12:45. So thank you for catching that. We were having a cognitive dissonance there for a moment. Next Sunday is not February 21st. We would have missed a lot of time.
That's what happens when you give me 2 Sundays off.
Okay, to get an update from our Board of Trustees, we have Deborah Moskowitz, who's our treasurer of the board, our Secretary of Board of Trustees. So welcome, Deborah. She's going to give us our Board of Trustees update.
Hello, my name is Deborah Moskowitz, and I am the Secretary of the SLC Board. As a member of the board, I attended the strategic planning meeting that we had on Thursday, January 11th. We discussed goals for the year and discerned what was the most important moving forward. It was a very productive meeting. We also wanted to let you know that the heart-to-heart interviews are collated, and we will be sending out a complete report about it, so expect that soon. We're looking forward to this new year, which includes our joint staff and board meeting coming up next Thursday. So we've had a lot of meetings. Since it's the beginning of a new year, it's time to renew your membership. We ask that you go onto the website to renew or see a member of the hub who can help you in the process. We do need a good count of governing members, so please renew your membership. Let's have a great year. Thank you.
Yes, thank you, Deborah.
And of course, there are many activities here that foster transformation in our lives. So check out our weekly small groups and other offerings. You know, the happenings are on our website, and you can also go out to the hub and get the information from the lovely ladies who sell all that lovely jewelry. There's a whole bunch, by the way, new stuff, so you might want to check that out. Anyway, anything you want to know about SLC is on the website or at the hub.
Well, as you know, we come together at Spiritual Life Centers to make connections with folks, whether it's doing a walk like we're going to do tomorrow, or a workshop, or a community meal on Wednesdays. But you don't have to wait until a special event to connect with someone. You can connect with someone right here, right now. So I invite you to turn to a friend or a neighbor, and in a manner that feels comfortable for you, just connect with them and say, "You are marvelous and glad you are here."
And we invite you to take all that good energy that you just got from one another and come back, stay standing, and join us in playing and singing our group song. More of Who We Are by Ricky Byers. We always have a social group. Join us. I will meet you with my heart, heart to heart. Let us meet again, and then may we become more of who we are, more of who we are. I will touch Please be seated.
Going to speak together on vision statement. Spiritual Life Center is a loving, vibrant family that welcomes home all people
and accepts everyone, no exceptions, weaving ancient spiritual traditions with emerging wisdom. We cultivate a spiritual deepening
with the divine, each other, and our planet. Now we're going to sing this beautiful chant. May all beings know love.
I just invite you to take a nice deep breath and become present. May all beings know love. May all beings know peace. May all beings know love. May all beings know peace. No more pain. No more pain. Please join us. May all beings know love. May all beings know peace. May all beings know love. May all beings know peace. No more pain. No more pain. No more pain. May all beings know love. May all beings know peace. May all beings know love. May all beings know peace.
May all beings know love. Let's take a deep cleansing breath together. Breathing love. Love in. Love out. Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. exemplified love and had much to say on this topic. A rare handwritten note by Dr. King says this: love is the greatest force in the universe. It is the heartbeat of the moral cosmos. He who loves is a participant in the being of God. Breathe that in. Love is the heartbeat of the moral cosmos. Allow yourself to get comfortable. Close your eyes. And as they close, feel yourself getting closer to love as you meet your internal world. If you are willing, place one or both hands on your heart. As you breathe, feel your chest rise and fall. Breathing in, aware that you are breathing in. Breathing out, aware that you are breathing out. Breath in, breath out. Rising and falling. Imagine the heart is breathing. This gentle act of turning toward the heart is as if we are climbing down a ladder from the mind to the heart. As you continue breathing, imagine you can sense your heartbeat. As it beats, it softens with every breath. Breathing in, aware of the in-breath. Breathing out, aware of the out-breath. You might say to yourself, I am here in my body and I am home. I am here in my body and I am home. Slow your breathing. Your heartbeat connected to the cosmos. Part of the collective heartbeat. Connected to all beings. All participants in the being of God in the silence. Slowly return your awareness back to your body. When you are ready, open your eyes, but please open them only partially, staying connected to that heartbeat, tapped into the power of love. Now I invite you to tap into your power of imagination. Imagine yourself listening to a sermon by Dr. Martin Luther King. As you love and imagine, I humbly offer you an excerpt from his sermon entitled, Love Your Enemies. It goes like this. Now, there is a final reason I think Jesus says, love your enemies. It is this, that love has within it a redemptive power. And there is a power there that eventually transforms individuals. Just keep being friendly to that person. Just keep loving them. And they can't stand it too long. Oh, they react in many ways at the beginning. They react with guilt feelings, and sometimes they'll hate you a little more at the transition period. But just keep loving them. And by the power of your love, they will break down under the load. That's love, you see. It's redemptive. And that's why Jesus says, love. There's something about love that builds up and is creative. So love your enemies. Love everybody. May it be so.
recognize that there are ties between us, all men and women living on the earth, ties of hope and love, of sister and brotherhood, that we are bound together in our desire to see the world become a place in which our children can grow free and strong. We are bound together by the task that stands before us and the road that lies ahead. We are bound and we are bound. There is a feeling like the clenching of a fist. There is a hunger in the center of the chest. There is a passage through the darkness and the mist. And though the body sleeps, the heart will never rest. Shed a little light, oh, shed a little light, oh, oh, so that we can see, oh yeah, just a little light, oh Lord, just a little light, oh Lord. Wanna stand it on up, stand it on up, stand it on up, oh, stand on up, Lord. Wanna walk it on down, gonna shed a little light, oh Lord. Can't give me no light from a dollar bill. Don't see me no light, no dollar bill. Don't give me no light from a TV screen. Oh no, no. When I open my eyes, I wanna drink my fill from the well on the hill. I know you know what I mean. Shed a little light, shed a little light, oh Lord, so that we can see, oh yeah, just a little light, oh Lord, just a little light, oh Lord. Wanna stand it on up, stand it on up, stand it on up, oh Lord, stand on up, Lord. Wanna walk it on down, gonna shed a little light, oh Lord, shed a little light, oh. There is a feeling like the clenching of a fist. There is a hunger in the center of the chest. There is a passage through the darkness and the mist. And though the body sleeps, the heart will never rest. Oh, let us turn our thoughts today to Martin Luther King and recognize that there are ties between us, all men and women living on the earth, ties of hope and love, sister and brother.
Well, thank you all for shedding your light to us this morning. Wow. Appreciate that. Oh. I can't believe I was thinking about this day. It was, wow. A number of years ago, it was an early Thursday afternoon, Thursday evening. And I was hanging out with some friends, and it was after school. You know, we were doing what high schoolers do. We were leaning against the wall of the school. It was my sophomore year there, and I think I was waiting for a ride after finishing up some after-school activities. And then suddenly out of the blue, one of my classmates came out and said, "Oh, they killed him." And I was wondering what he was talking about. And he said that Martin Luther King had been killed that day. And of course, at that time, I didn't fully grasp what that meant. But for many of us, a sense of innocence and faith and hope kind of took a major hit. It was interesting times during that era. And of course, I had very little appreciation for the power of his philosophy of nonviolence and his spiritual perspective until I began later on understanding it came from the work of Mahatma Gandhi and others. Because during that time, like many of my colleagues and friends, were impatient. We thought his philosophy was impractical, it was foolish, until I understood its roots. And over the course of his life, I think he left several gifts that were given to all of us should we choose to accept them. And I think he was a person early in his life who knew his mission. He was just 26 years old when he was selected to lead the Montgomery boycott to end the segregated bus system in Alabama at the time. And it kind of reminded me that it's never too late to be what you might have been, but also it's never too young to meet your mission. That first part of the quote is from George Eliot. The second part is by me, but I think together they make sense. But King was awake. He was awakened to his purpose and his meaning for being here at a very young age. In today's language, we might say that, yeah, he was woke. Now, in recent times, that word has been co-opted by people seeking to disparage the term as something negative rather than a word that seeks a better society, a better world. And I often ask people, have they studied any history? So maybe a little bit of history is important. Because some people think that word was just recently invented. But the word woke first showed up in the lyrics of a 1938 song by the blues singer Leadbelly. It was a song about the Scottsboro boys, 9 African-American teenagers convicted of a crime that he did not commit, and they were sentenced to death. And the song warned of the pitfalls of the justice system, and the words at the end of that song, best stay woke, meaning be aware, be awake, be vigilant. And when people observed the Buddha during his lifetime, they knew there was something about him. And they asked him, well, are you a man? He said, no. And he said, well, what are you? And people were perplexed about how he showed up in such an enlightened state. And he simply said, I am awake. And Jesus said in Mark, the 13th chapter, 37th verse, stay awake. So King was awake from this consciousness of awakeness. This so-called woke consciousness emerged a number of gifts that we can apply in our own life. We can apply in our world today. So I'm just going to share 5 of those gifts that he left us and know that there were so many, many more, but we'd be here till next week if I'd done through all of them. He did a lot in his life. He transitioned at age 39. 39, did so much. But anyway, the first gift I think he left is the realization that every crisis presents an opportunity for greater good. I was speaking to a young man who felt a sense of despair because of all the polarization and divisiveness that he was seeing in his community and other communities, what's happening on the world, seeing the wars in the Middle East and politics. He was very distressed and anxious about it. And one of the first things he said, I said, well, you might want to step away from the news. Take a break from the internet to get some perspective and realize that the headlines are just the world's prayer requests and they're telling us what we need to pray for. But I did let him know that I understood where he was coming from. But he was surprised when I suggested that such events and such upsetting events that take place, they can be a good thing. And he said, well, what do you mean by that? I just don't get it. And I said, sometimes these incidents can serve as evolutionary triggers to wake us up to our true nature as spiritual beings and to remind us to take whatever action is needed to help us realize that we are all part of one spiritual family. So every crisis has both its dangers and its opportunities. Each crisis can either save us or they can doom us. The choice, of course, is always ours, but it's our mission, should we choose to accept it, to move it to save us. So Dr. King accepted his mission, and he knew it wouldn't be easy. He said that, the arc of the universe is long, but it bends toward justice. And that sometimes the movement toward justice emerges out of a tragedy. In 55, there was a young boy named Emmett Till. He was 14 years old. He was from Chicago. And he spent time in the summer with his relatives in Mississippi. And while he was in Mississippi, because of an incident that took place, he was tortured to death. His body was mutilated. His face was disfigured beyond recognition for something he did not do. And at his funeral, his mother, Emmett's mother, wanted to make sure that his son did not die in vain and removed from his head the bag that covered his mutilated and disfigured face. The photos of his body were seen on every major publication in America and across the world, and this shocked the consciousness. And on top of that, the men who were accused of his murder were acquitted in just 67 minutes of deliberation. And so devastated by what she saw on the television, Rosa Parks at that time also refused to give up her seat, and that sparked the Montgomery bus boycott. And that boycott is considered the start of the civil rights movement in the United States that was led by Dr. King. But I say that today he turned a crisis into an opportunity for greater good. But we can do the same thing in our own life to help bend the arc of the universe toward justice, toward healing, toward harmony, toward our own unique way of being in the world. But we have to realize that we have to be awake, and it often starts with the crisis that we have. Sometimes people come into a place like Unity. Maybe your experience. They were gone through something. Maybe it was a divorce. It was a death in the family, the failure of a business, some health issues. And they bring us there. And it's a crisis for us at that moment. But I always realize that that's maybe just a trick of the Spirit to get us involved in realizing who and what we are and how powerful the Spirit can work through and as us in our life. And out of that crisis is an opportunity for greater good, to see something that we did not see before. So out of that crisis is good. And so that's lesson number one. And then the second gift from King was every crisis presents an opportunity for good. That's what we just said. But the second gift, he said, paint a vivid picture for a better tomorrow. There's a statement in Proverbs that says, where there is no vision, the people perish. And I would say the modern version, where there is no vision, the people squabble. I think I can see a lot of squabbling going on in the world today. Our world, I think our country, our life sometimes needs a compelling vision to focus its attention on. In fact, we must ask, when was the last time that we did have a compelling vision that brought everybody together? Probably when Dr. Luther King looked out and said, I have a dream, he began to speak about that dream, a possibility of people working together, living together, being creative together. And of course, we know a vision is simply something that is so clear in our mind, we can see it in our imagination. And it serves as a roadmap that is vital for a successful life. Because without that, we often are directionless. As someone once said one time, if you don't know where you're going, any road will take you there. Vision is where it'll take us where we want to be, where our heart longs to be, and seemingly like magic, things come along that support us along the way. Because the whole Spirit of God grows through us and allows us to grow through our dreams, through our visions, regardless of how it looks like right now. Because the facts of the moment do not have the final word. And so painting the picture for the future does not have to be a compelling vision for a country or for the world. It can just be for our life. Maybe our life is not where we want it to be, maybe health-wise or relationship-wise or prosperity-wise or happiness-wise. For whatever reason, we know it does not have the final word, and we can create a new future. So, in Unity, we try to be practical. So here's a practical tool that we can use to envision a new future in any area of our life. And I call it envisioning your ideal day, your perfect day. Because I realize that life is made up of individual days. And to create the ideal day, you end up setting the intention for an ideal life. So what do we do to set up an ideal day? Well, we start with the question: if there were no limitations, no consequences, what would my average perfect day look like? And so when you think of a perfect day, we have to be specific, we have to be detailed, we have to be clear, because the universe responds to clarity. So he asks questions like, what does my perfect health look like? What does my spiritual abundance look like? What do my perfect relationships look like? What makes me happy? And we begin to write that vision down as if it's happening right here and right now. We read it, reaffirm it every single day, because all the studies show when we begin to have that energy right at this moment, even if the facts are not showing up, we begin to attract that in our life. Because what happens, it begins to override beliefs that have led to the current reality that we may not like. But we have to start with that compelling vision for the future and envision it happening right now. And it'll move us in the place that we want to be. So as we think about power of painting compelling vision, we're reminded during the era of Reconstruction, there was an uneducated domestic worker. And she was a child of former slaves and had the vision of a new way of life. And her name was Madam C.J. Walker. And there's a movie on Netflix called Self-Made that talks about that. So that's my flick pick of the week. But anyway, she set in motion a mission to move from being a domestic worker to manufacturing her own hair products and distributing those products all over the country and even the world. And she became the first self-made woman millionaire in the United States. She demonstrated the power of capturing and believing in a compelling vision to create a whole new future for herself and for the many people that worked for her. I believe we can do the same for ourselves in our own life, in our communities, for our world. So that's another gift of Dr. King. Create a compelling vision, a vivid picture of a better tomorrow. But there's another gift, third gift, and that is to act according to our highest values no matter what. Sometimes, I get caught up and I'm watching some of the politicians today. They're strong on confidence, but they're fungible on values. Many of them don't have any except power. But that's a whole nother story. I won't get into that. But during the Civil Rights Movement, many were tempted to resort to violence to advance the cause, and some did. But Dr. King, like Mahatma Gandhi before him, called upon his followers to adhere to a higher standard. And he reminded his followers that we must not allow our creative protests to degenerate into physical violence. Again and again, we must rise to the majestic heights of meeting the physical force with what he called soul force. And there's a story that demonstrates a moment of truth for him where he held fast to his values and would not be moved. He was in a crowd of people, and he was leaving from a speech or a rally, and a very well-dressed man stepped up out of the crowd, walked up to Dr. King and asking, "Are you Dr. Martin Luther King?" And he said, "Yes, I am." Kind of imitated, "Yes, I am." And the man spit in his face. And King took out his handkerchief, and he wiped the hate from his suit. And he gave it back to the man and said, "I believe this belongs to you. I believe this belongs to you." In one of his speeches, he said, "Let no man pull you so low as to hate him." In that moment, that may have been an exception. I think most people would have said, "Well, I adhere to the nonviolence, but this is an exception right here." But he didn't do that. Most people may have broken away from their values and their beliefs. That maybe this one time I need to do something that was contrary to the value. But King didn't do that. He held fast to his values even when he was severely tested. So his third gift is, according to him, was to live and act according to your highest values that you have. And then lesson number 4, I want to bring up, recognize our interconnectedness. He stated, in this quote that it is a real sense that all life is interrelated. All persons are caught in an inescapable network of mutuality, tied in a single garment of destiny, that whatever affects one indirectly affects all of us indirectly. And I can never be what I ought to be until you are what you ought to be. And you can never be what you ought to be until I am what I ought to be. He said this is the interrelatedness and the structure of reality. In a small way, I was recognizing this. I was flying back from seeing my mother in Florida last Tuesday. And I'm sitting in the car. I'm in the aisle seat. I love the aisle seats. That's where I sit all the time. And there was another guy that was sitting in the window seat, and there's a seat between us. And he turns on his phone, and he's watching a video. And apparently, he didn't have his headphones on, It's just playing all loud and everything. And I wasn't really aware because I had my headphones on. But there was another guy on the other side of the aisle, sitting in the aisle seat. And apparently, it was really disturbing him. So he balled up a piece of paper and he zipped the ball of the paper past the other people, past my nose, and hit the guy right in the head to get his attention. Needless to say, he was shocked. And so he said, who did that? And the guy said, over there, man, look, you're not supposed to have your phone on unless you're wearing your headphones. And so they were getting back and forth, and I'm imagining myself, I'm right in the middle of this. There's going to be the newspaper up about some sort of argument taking place, 35,000 feet. And I said, man, it ain't worth it. You don't need to go over there to go confront him. But I say all that to share that, we all share all the same sound waves here. And he was creating a disturbance in the force. But the central idea is that the wisdom teachers tell us that we're interconnected, and we often forget our interconnection. And as we witness the challenges of our day, whether the breakdowns of our environment, political polarization, the income challenges, the homelessness, at this time, we need to reimagine and construct a new world. And the good news is that these truth principles are coming in to address the challenges that we face today. It's taken a while for the spiritual teachings to mature, in my view. In the beginning, it was getting its footing, and the teachings were about, our own healing and healing relationships, well-being and prosperity, and making things happen. And they're all going to be okay to do that. But now it's time for a collective healing, to transcend and live out the common interconnection before us. We must move from me to we in our transformation. That because what is outpicturing in our world is nothing more than a reflection of the group awareness, the group consciousness. And we, as we change and grow and expand and identify with our true nature and being, we become the leaders who create a world that works for everyone. So indeed, by recognizing and operating from our interconnectedness, we can be part of the collective change the world is hungering and thirsting for. And I think Martin Luther King recognized that. So gift number 4 from Dr. King, know our interconnectedness. And finally, for today, just the 5th, and it was alluded to in our meditation, it's the gift of love. As Paul was pointing out, we have to love those, as he was quoting Jesus, that even though we don't like them. And he wrote a note after someone asked him what he believed the meaning of love was, and Paul quoted the same thing that I had in my quote today. So but it bears repeating. He says, love is the greatest force in the universe. It is the heartbeat of moral cosmos. He who loves is participating in being of God. And Charles Film, the co-founder of Unity, said something to the effect that love is that which binds everything together. It is the foundation of the universe. And King focused on the role of love as the key to building healthy communities and the ways in which we love can and should be the center of our social interactions. For King, love was not just a mushy or easily dismissed emotion, but central to the kind of community and world he envisioned. Now, it sounds simple enough, It's not necessarily easy, but because it begins by realizing it's impossible to love humanity in general. We can only love in particular. In other words, we have to espouse the love ethic. We have to say we love each individual. That is, loving our neighbor, loving that person next to us if we're working somewhere in the cubicle, loving that person that has 10 items in their basket when they got 35 items in the basket and the 10 items on less line. You ever have that happen to you? Yeah. And I'm touting there. I say, hey. I made them know. I said, hey, it's a lot of stuff. Hey. It's those moments it becomes difficult. But in order to engender the love ethic and build that beloved community that King talked about, we must imagine and use our imagination and put ourselves in another person's shoes, another person's point of view, and see things from their perspective, which widens our perspective and allows us to embrace another person, which helps the love ethic to be real and not just theoretical. Now, this is not the normal way of being in the world, during Jesus' time, Jesus was probably an extremist to some people when he said to turn the other cheek. And I'm sure the people that were following said, well, I'm not ready for that. I like all that other stuff you're talking about, that God is love and you're the light of the world. He's probably saying, hey, kumbaya. The kingdom of heaven is within you. But we're not any masochists here. I'm not going to let that dude keep slapping me, abusing me, taking advantage of me. No, I'm not going to go for that. But that's not what the brother man meant. He meant that when someone gives you one form of energy, we do not give the same energy back. It takes strength to do that. So it does not take any strength to react to the nonsense, to the hate, to the abuse, to the impoliteness. But it does take strength to exchange one form of energy for another. Just like when he was spit upon, he gave a different energy back to him. It only comes from understanding who we are as spiritual beings that use that soul force that is there for us. Like I said, it takes strength to operate that soul force consciousness, but only then the transformation of ourselves and the parties we're involved in begin to take place. So the final gift for today was that power of love. And I think when we practice these gifts, we begin to break down the artificial barriers that we have created between people, between groups, between nations. So we begin to download the beloved community that Dr. King dreamed about. And we'll begin to look at each other and we'll begin to see beauty. We'll see all of us as original blessings, as Matthew Fox would say. We'll stop seeing the so-called differences and we'll look at that wonderful light shining through that individual, even if they show up weird. We want to do our part to expand the beloved community by taking one area of our life where we can intensely practice the love ethic, one area where we can rebel against business as usual, one area of life where forgiveness can become the order of our day, so our seemingly upside down world can turn right side up. We do this right where we are, and then we can just spread it out to the rest of the world so it spreads like wildfire, so that business as usual is set aside. And we realize that there's a spiritual plan, a wholeness, a harmony, a God-ordained vision worthy to be expressed. That's what we're here to do. So King indeed was one of those great transformational leaders in contemporary history. There have been many of them. And as we acknowledge what he taught, the gifts that he left, we can say thank you for not missing his mission as we do our best to live up to the ideas and the ideals that he embodied and gifted us with. So in our own way, we're saying, stay woke. Peace and blessings to you. Let's see what we've got next. Oh, next week I'll be back. And my talk is don't look back, except. There are a few exceptions, and we're going to discuss what those exceptions are, but we don't always look back all the time. If you want to have some prayer right after the service, if you're going through some challenges or setbacks or just want to celebrate something, our chaplains are available to pray with you. They're wearing the white stoles, so just look for one of the chaplains that here's the white stoles. They'll be in the courtyard, and we appreciate their consciousness and what they bring to our community. For those who are online, if you'd like to connect with Spiritual Life Center, you can fill out the card and we can stay in contact with you. But more importantly, we just want to acknowledge anyone here for the first time today. Any first timers here this morning? You can raise your hand. Okay. Well, it looks like we're all kind of familiar with one another, but as I always say, that if you're different now than you were yesterday, you're a new person. So, last year, new year. Oh yes, a new year. Yes, because like we said, we're going to soar in 2024. That's right. That means we're going to be totally different than 2023, better in all kinds of ways. At this time, if you're online and want to support Spiritual Life Center with your gift or offering, you can do so by texting SLC Love to 44321, SLC Love to 44321, or go to our website, slcworld.org, click the Donate tab. You can give in other ways, including sending a check by mail. We appreciate your presence. And if you're watching either live or in a replay, just share it with other people, comment, and so forth, because more and more people become aware of the teachings that we have incorporated in their life and make a difference in our world. For those who are here today who would like to give, just know that you are in the flow of a principle that says that whatever you give out comes back to you. And if you've already given know that you can never outgive the presence of God, and blessings will come your way, not only in your life, but for the world and for our community. And so with that, let's affirm our offertory blessing together. Divine love, as me, blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, and all that I circulate. Thank you, God.
I have a little story to tell you about this closing song that we're going to do, but before I do that, I want to give a shout out to our AV team today. We have Kayla and Jesse in the booth, and as a surprise and wonderful happy accident, Russell's daughter Saliwa came to the service today with him, and she stepped in an empty spot as PowerPoint pilot. Thank you so much.
Yes.
And I might as well just make a little announcement that we have at this time only one PowerPoint pilot, and that is Christina, who likes to have a day off sometimes. So if there is anybody else who would consider coming and doing PowerPoint pilot, we would love to hear from you. So please give Rev Deborah or myself an email, and we'd love to hear from you about that. Now, this song that we're going to do, In Christ There Is No East or West, is an old hymn, and one of our other vocalists in the music ministry, Dahlia Kilson, she received an invitation from Unity Worldwide Ministries to record this song for a virtual Martin Luther King concert that is being streamed tomorrow, 1 o'clock Pacific time. And that song, Soul Light Connection recorded it with her, and we submitted it as a video, and it's a collection of stories and videos. And we did put a link to that video concert in the letter that went out yesterday, the reminder letter, and also on our events page. So if you don't make it to the march and you want to have a Martin Luther King experience tomorrow, that's another opportunity for you. So we're going to sing that song for you now. One, two, three, four.
In Christ there is no east or west, no north or south, only one great love inside and out. True hearts everywhere, in service we find, singing one melody, connecting humankind. Join hands and have faith, whatever your race may be. All children of the living God are surely kin to me. In Christ now eat both east and west. There is no black and white. Only one great love, hatred cannot divide. Join hands and have faith. Forgive your enemy. Surely we all are a part of one big family. Join hands and have faith. Whatever your race may be, all children of the living God are surely kin to me. Join hands, have faith, forgive your enemy. Surely we all are a part of one big family. Surely we all are a part of one big family.
In Christ, there's no east or west. It's only this moment, this place, right here and now. And we take this time to connect with this presence that is known by many different names, but is so very real. And bless those who have blessed us with their gifts and offerings, knowing they're going to bless not only Spiritual Life Center, but all those who are on their way to be part of this community that are looking to grow, develop, unfold. Those who may be going through a crisis and realize that behind the crisis there is an opportunity to grow spiritually and discover something about themselves they did not know about before the crisis took place. So we give thanks for those who are supporting our community to provide that place. We also acknowledge those who have left their prayers in the prayer box throughout the week or today, because we all have challenges that we face from time to time. And maybe we need to go beyond our own human understanding and lean on a presence that is all, in all, and through all, that is omni-active, all-powerful, all-knowing, that knows the answers even before we know what the question is, that has the answer to the prayer even before we know what the prayer we need to pray, make is made. So we give thanks for the opportunity to let God be God in each and every one of those individuals, knowing that there's a divine and perfect answer waiting to express through and as them. And we send that prayer energy to all those who may be going through something in their own life that are not part of our community, but we surround them with divine love of God that is there for each and every one of us. It's there for us as individuals, it's there for our communities, it's there for the very world in which we live. For the Spirit of living God has a divine and perfect vision waiting to be expressed and manifested. And our job is to raise our awareness to be big enough, bold enough, courageous enough to be in tune with it so that it begins to show up in our life and in our world. It is already done. We have the vision, the dream is there. Our job is to simply connect with it, and as we do, miracles seem to happen. And for this and so much more, we're grateful and thankful as we go forth doing our part to anchor the visions of possibilities for our world and for our lives. And so it is, and so we let it be. Amen. Okay, at this time, let us affirm our prayer for protection. The light of God surrounds us. I am the light of God. The love of God enfolds us. I am the love of God. The power of God protects us. I am the power of God. The presence of God watches over us. I am the presence of God. Wherever we are, God is, I am, and all is well. Let's sing our peace song.
Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be. With God as creator, family all are we, family all are we. Let us walk with each other in perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me. Let this be the moment now. Let this be the moment. With every step I take, let this be my joyous vow. To take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Oh, let it begin with me.
Peace and blessings. Have a great day. Hang around for some post-service music, and hopefully see a few tomorrow.